Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya Madhyamām Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sukham nityam svaprakasham vyapakam nama rupayoho adhishthanam buddhyabodhyam buddhir-divyattu nirmalam aparam sarva vedanta vedyam pratyakparam mahaha tadevaham namattonya ditime nishchitamatihi. So we are in the fifth taranga, where the topic of creation of this world is taken up, and under that the Maya Swarupam is being discussed. The connection is that creation is from Maya Sahita Brahma, not Shuddha Brahma, and therefore the topic of Maya is taken up. And Maya Swarupam is presented. Various features of Maya are talked about. First is it is Anadi, second is Anirvachaniya, third is it is Brahmashraya, and fourth is it is Brahma Vishaya. Shuddha Brahma Vishaya, Shuddha Brahmashraya. And in this connection, the Vachaspati Mata is presented. And Vachaspati view has got certain features. One is Jivashritam Ajnanam. That is the first. Jivashritam and Brahma Vishayam Ajnanam. Ignorance is having Jiva as its locus and Brahman as the object of veiling. Second is this Ajnanam is manifold, in fact innumerable. So Ajnanam Nana, that is the second feature. So Jivashrayam Brahma Vishayakam Ajnanam first, second is Ajnanam Nana, manifold. And thereby Ishvaraha api anekaha anantaha. Ajnanani anantani. Then third is Ishvaraha api anantaha. Because this Ishvara is Ajnana Kalpita. And every Ajnanam will project one Ishvara. And therefore there will be Anantaha Ishvaraha. And the fourth one is Anantaha Srishtayaha. There are many creations, many universes. How many universes are there? As many Jivas are there. So Jivaha api Anantaha. One more feature is Jivaha Anantaha. Ajnana Ananta, Jiva Ananta, Ishvara Ananta, and the Srishtayaha, the creation, the universes, they are also Ananta. Alright. So these are the 5 features of his Vachaspati Mata in this context. And now, the Vachaspati Mata is dismissed by saying that Ajnanam Ekatvam, Ajnana is one. So why it is the Ajnanam is Ekam? First Pramanam is that Shruti Smriti Virodha will come if you accept many Ajnana and many Ishvara, many Srishti based on many Ajnana. And therefore Ajnana Ekatvam is the main Siddhanta, because Ajnana Ekatva and Ajnana based Ishvara Ekatva, Srishti Ekatvam is in harmony with the presentation of Shruti Smriti Purana. And objection will come that if his Ajnanam is one, then by the rise of the knowledge on the part of one person, Ajnanam should be destroyed, and then everybody also should be free from ignorance. That part, that particular question will be answered in the 168th paragraph. But right now, Shruti Smriti Purana Virodha, based on Virodha, this Ajnana Anekatvam is dismissed. Now, up to this we had said, sin tasmad Ajnanam ekaha ekamiti matameva jyayaha. Jaya means greater, better. Now, second is Ajnanam is having Brahman as the Ashraya and Brahman as the Vishaya. That Angikara. So, Ajnanasya Swashraya Svavishayatva Pakshangikara. Angikara means acceptance of the view that Ajnanam is having Brahman as the Ashraya and Brahman as the Vishaya. So, this is the title. Now it is explained. Tad idam ekam Ajnanam na jiva shritam. That this Ajnanam, that Ajnanam which was presented as manifold, and idam, this which is established to be one based on Shruti Smriti Purana, that this Ajnanam na jiva shritam is not resting on, is not having the locus in jiva. Kintu, but Shuddha Brahma Shritam eva. It is located in Shuddha Brahma, pure Brahman, Nirupadika Brahma. Shuddha Brahma here means Nirupadika Brahma. Alright. Why is it so? Why do we say so? That Shuddha Brahma Shritam and na Jiva Shritam? For that the reasons are given. Explanation is given from the next sentence. Jiva bhavaha cha ajnana karyam taccha ajnanam na kadachidapi swatantram tishtati tasmat nirashraya ajnanena jiva na jiva bhavaha siddhyet. So here certain things are to be accepted. Of course, that acceptance also has got certain basis. And one acceptance is, one assumption is that Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava, Jiva status and Ishvara status of Brahman is Ajnana Nimittakam, is based on Ajnanam. Because of Ajnanam alone, Brahman has got Jiva status and Ishvara status. So Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava, both of them are Ajnana Nimitta. Ajnanam Nimittam Yasya. Ajnana Nimittaka. Alright. And this is first point. Second is that Ajnanam cannot be Nirashraya. Ajnanam cannot remain without Ashraya. You cannot say Ajnanam is there, but nobody is the locus. You cannot say. So Ajnanam is Sashrayam Ajnanam. And now we will inquire, since Ajnanam has to be Sashraya, then what can be the Ashraya? If we inquire, Jiva cannot be Ashraya because Jiva itself is Ajnana Nimittakam. Means it is based on Ajnanam. So that which is based on Ajnanam cannot become the Ashraya of Ajnanam. And therefore Jiva cannot become Ashraya of Ajnanam. Similarly, Ishvara Bhava also is based on Ajnanam. And therefore Ishvara also cannot be the Ashraya of Ajnanam. Because Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava, both of them are Ajnana Nimittaka. They are based on Ajnanam. Therefore they cannot become the Ashraya of Ajnanam. Otherwise Anyonya Ashraya will happen. So when Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava are established, then Ajnana will be established to be Sashraya. And if the Ajnanam is Sashraya, then only it can be responsible for Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava. And therefore, this Jiva and Ishvara cannot become the Ashraya of this Ajnana. So by Parishesha Nyaya, Jiva cannot be the Ashraya, Ishvara cannot be Ashraya. Then what was there before the Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava of Brahman? The only Shuddha Brahman is there. So Shuddha Brahman alone can be the Ashraya of this Ajnana. So that is being established. So this is the explanation which is going to be given in this paragraph. So he says Jiva Bhavaha cha Ajnana Karyam. Karyam here is in the sense of Nimittakam. Karyam is not in a literal sense, because it is going to be said that Jiva status is Anadi. Therefore, Jiva Bhavaha cha Ajnana Karyam. See, Ajnana Nimittakam. So, status of Jiva, Jivatva, Bhava is Tva. Jivatva is Ajnana Karyam, means it is based on ignorance. Tacha Ajnanam na kadachidapi swatantram tishtati. And that Ajnanam kadachidapi, at any time, na tishtati, does not remain swatantram, independent. Independent means without ashraya. So Ajnanam cannot be there without ashraya. Ajnanam has to rest somewhere. Gata Ajnanam, Pata Ajnanam, or any Ajnanam. Ajnanam has to have some ashraya. So that is the second point. And Tasmat, therefore, Nirashraya Ajnanena na Jiva Bhava Siddhye. Tasmat means because Ajnanam cannot remain without ashraya. Therefore, by Ajnanam which is not having ashraya, Jiva Bhava will not be established. So for Jiva Bhava to be established, Ajnanam has to rest somewhere. Ajnanam which is resting somewhere alone can become the cause for this Jiva Bhava. Without ashraya, Ajnanam cannot be established. For Ajnanam to be established, some ashraya should be there. Without ashraya, the Ajnanam cannot be the cause, cannot be said to be the cause for Jiva Bhava. Na Jiva Bhava Siddhi. Nirashraya Ajnanena, by locus-less ignorance, Jiva Bhava, Jiva status would not be established. And yadi Ajnanam Prathamam Yat Kinchid Ashrayam Ashritya Tishtet Tada Tat Karya Jiva Bhava Siddhyet. So, Yadi, if Ajnanam, ignorance, Prathamam, firstly, Yat Kinchid Ashrayam Ashritya, having resorted to some locus, Tishtet, can remain. If ignorance can remain, having resorted to some support, Tada, then Tat Karya Jiva Bhava Siddhyet. Then only the Jiva Bhava, the Jiva status which is the product of ignorance, would be established. Jiva Bhavaha, okay, so Jiva Bhava is dependent upon Ajnanam, therefore Ajnanam cannot rest on Jiva. That was the first point. So Ajnanam requires some ashraya, and Jiva Bhava is based on Ajnanam, therefore Jiva cannot become the ashraya of Ajnanam. What about Ishvara? So he said Jiva Bhavaha iva Ishvara Bhava api Ajnana Karyameva. Like Iva means like Jiva Bhava, Jiva status, Ishvara Bhava, Ishvara status, also Ajnana Karyameva is the product of Ajnana. So what does it mean that Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava is Ajnana Karyam? Means in the realm of ignorance alone, there is Jiva status, Ishvara status superimposed upon Brahman. Without Ajnanam, there is no Jiva, there is no Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Triputi is established or is accepted only in the realm of ignorance. If I know I am Brahman, there is no Jiva Bhava, there is no Ishvara Bhava, there is no Jagat. Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are accepted only in the realm of ignorance. Without ignorance, what is there? Only Brahman is there. Advitiyam Brahman is there. Therefore, Puja Swamiji was referring Rishikesh. If you ask some question about Jagat, then he said, which Jagat you are talking about? They will say, which Jagat you are talking about? There is no real Jagat. What is there is Brahman alone. So your drishti is there that I am Brahman, then what about this Jagat? What is the connection between Jiva and Ishvara? What is the connection between Ishvara and Jagat? All these questions go away. As long as you are not convinced and abiding in this wisdom that I am Brahman, all these questions are there. And therefore, Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava are Ajnana Karya, means as long as I am not convinced and abiding in this wisdom, I am Brahman, this Jiva Bhava, Jiva status, Ishvara status are relevant. When you are away, you are out of that ignorance, then Jiva Bhava, Ishvara Bhava are not there. Like as long as you are in dream, and you are there as a servant and somebody is a master and somebody is even Lord, you are in the temple, you are worshipping Bhagavan and Bhagavan Shiva is appearing and you are doing Sashtang Namaskara, all these are valid as long as you are in dream. When you wake up, you do not have question that who is that Ishvara, who is that this Bhakta and all this. Bhakta and Ishvara division goes away. As long as you are in dream, all of them are relevant. Somebody is your master, somebody is your servant, Swaswami Bhava is there. But when you wake up, then there is no Jiva Ishvara Bhava. Therefore, Jiva Ishvara Bhava are considered to be Ajnana Karya. Then afterwards, so many questions will be there. Questions keep coming. That is why we study. Then why Gnani is also going to the temple, etc. It is a Badhita. As though. He is as though going and as though accepting the Jiva Ishvara Bhava. But in his mind there is no reality behind it. Alright. That is just incidental. But main thing is Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava is Ajnana Karyam. Ajnana Karyam is Ajnana Nimittakam. You may wonder that why Swamiji you are using the word Nimittakam, Karyam is enough. Karyam we understand better in fact. Nimittakam you are bringing because it is not Karyam in usual sense. Like Ghata is the Karyam of Mrut, like that Jiva Bhava, Ishvara Bhava, once upon a time born, that type of situation is not there. Therefore we have to use this. He himself will make it clear. Alright. Now, Tasmad Ajnanam na Ishvarashritam api. So, Ajnanam is not dependent upon even is not located in Ishvara. Parisheshat, by the law of exclusion. When you dismiss all the possible options, whatever option remains, that option is accepted to be the valid one. That is called Parisheshya Nyaya. By the law of exclusion, remainder. By the law of remainder. Remainder means remaining one. These what all options are there are gone. Now whatever is remaining you choose. That is called Parishesha. Idam Anadi Ajnanam Shuddha Brahma Shritam Bhavati. So only three possibilities were there. One is the Jiva Chaitanyam, Ishvara Chaitanyam and Shuddha Chaitanyam. Jada Jagat cannot become the Ashraya of Ajnanam because Ashraya of Ajnanam has to be Chaitana. Ajnanam is always resting on Chaitana. We cannot say the pencil has got Ajnanam. Then you have got more Ajnanam. So if you say that, therefore pencil does not have Ajnanam. Jada cannot be the Ashraya of this Ajnanam. So Chaitana alone has to be Ashraya. So Jagat cannot be Ashraya. Then Jiva Chaitanya, Ishvara Chaitanyam cannot be Ashraya. Only Shuddha Brahma can be Ashraya. Because Shuddha Brahma remains, is there even when Jiva Bhava, Ishvara Bhava are not brought into the picture. We don't say they are Jiva Bhava, Ishvara Bhava are not there. The Jiva Bhava, Jiva is Anadi, Ishvara is Anadi. But Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava are not brought into the picture. That time also, what is there is Shuddha Brahma. So Maya does not have any other support. Jiva cannot be Ashraya, the Ishvara cannot be Ashraya, only pure Brahman will become the Ashraya. That also Parishesha. When we use the word Parishesha, it has got significance. What significance? When we say Parishesha, then we don't have to give so much logic. Why did you marry this one, this girl or this boy? बोले कि स्वामी दूसरा कोई मिला ही नहीं बस यही कहा था उसमें भी ये गुण था ये गुण ये कुछ बताने की जरूरत नहीं है दिस क्वालिटी वाज देयर दैट क्वालिटी वाज नॉट देयर ऑल दिस आर नॉट टू बी डिस्कस्ड स्वामी जी वही अवेलेबल था so parisheshya nyaya we don't have to give so much logic if that is the only possible thing we cannot negate it negativity should not be there but positively we don't have to establish. See, that is the beauty of Parisheshya Nyaya. Negatibility, like Jiva Chaitanyam has got negatibility of being the Ashraya of Ajnanam, that type of negatibility is not there. Because the Shuddha Brahman is not Ajnana Karyam. Jiva is Ajnana Karyam, Ishvara is Ajnana Karyam, or Jiva Bhava to be precise. Jiva Bhava, Ishvara Bhava, Ajnana Karyam. Like that, Shuddha Brahman is not Ajnana Karyam. Jiva Bhava cannot, therefore Jiva Bhava cannot be Ashraya, Jiva Chaitanyam cannot be Ashraya, Ishvara Chaitanyam also cannot be Ashraya, so Shuddha Brahman is remaining. So that is why Parisheshat. So Parisheshat when we say, so then we don't have to give positive logic. Only there should be absence of negatibility. We don't have to positively establish Shuddha Brahman. That otherwise you will ask Swamiji, how Shuddha Brahma can be Ashraya Swamiji? I don't have to establish. Ajnanam is there, experientially Ajnanam is there, it has to have Ashraya and other ones are not possible. Therefore, Shuddha Brahman is accepted as Ashraya. And there is no point to negate it. And therefore, Parisheshyadidam anadi ajnanam Shuddha Brahmashritam bhavati. Then you here also people may ask that Swamiji, Brahman is free from all relationship with anyone, including Ajnanam. If you say that, then we are not establishing that Brahman and Ajnanam has got real Ashraya Bhava. Adhyasika is there. Adhyasika is possible. Adhyasika Sambandha, Adhyasika Ashraya Ashrita Bhava is possible between Maya and Brahman. So that is possible. Alright. Then somebody may say, Swamiji, when did it start? This Shuddha Brahman and Ajnanam, when did they start to be related as Ashraya and Ashrita? When the Maya and Shuddha Brahma got married? No. For that he said, no, Anadi Chaitanya Ajnanayo Sambandha api Anadi eva. Ajnanam is Anadi, we have already established. All possibility of Adi we have dismissed. If you remember in the beginning, that was the first feature of this Ajnanam. That is Anadi. So Ajnanam is Anadi, beginningless. And Chaitanyam also is Anadi. So Anadi Chaitanya and Anadi Ajnanam. So Anadi word goes with Chaitanya and Ajnanam both. Anadi Chaitanya, Anadi Ajnanayoho Sambandha. Connection also is what? Anadihi eva, beginningless. So Brahman and Ajnanam are having Sambandha of Ashraya Ashrita. Since when? Beginningless. There is no beginning. In fact, logically also beginning should not be there. Why? Because what will be the nimitta for beginning to happen? Maya, Ajnanam is Anadi, Brahman is Anadi. Both of them are beginningless. Then, what should be the nimitta for them to be connected? There is no nimitta. And therefore, the beginning of the sambandha between the Maya and Brahman cannot be established. It cannot be established. Why? Because if you say, no, Swamiji, Brahman and Maya, they were like Adam and Eve, they were separate, and then something happened and they joined. Then Maya said, मुझे कोई मिलता नहीं है तुम. I am not getting anyone to be my support. You become my support. One day, Maya proposed. That type of situation is not possible. What would be the nimitta for that? What is the reason that so far Maya did not ask and one day asked? We cannot establish. So Maya and Brahman sambandha is also anadi. So there is no beginning. So anadi chaitanya gnanayoho sambandha api anadi. Into bracket there is a kalaha word is written. What is this? This is where those who have studied this Vichara Sagara fully and listened and remember, they will know that in the Vichara Sagara, this introduction itself is sambandha between the Maya and Brahman alone is called Kala. So what is Kala? One definition of Kala is time is Anadi Chaitanyam and Anadi Ajnana Sambandha. So Kala is the one which is characterized by the connection between Anadi Chaitanyam and Anadi Ajnana. Means what? Kala is mithya. Just as Sambandha is mithya, the Sambandha between the Anadi Chaitanya, Anadi Ajnana is mithya, this is also mithya. And when did it have beginning? It did not have. Kala also does not have real beginning. So Kala is Anadi. This type of Kala. Vyavharika Kala has got beginning. When Vyavhara, Srishti starts, then the creation is said. When creation starts, Kala, along with Kala it starts. But this Kala which is in this form, Kala which is in the form of the Sambandha between the Anadi Chaitanya and Anadi Maya, that also is Anadi. So Kala is Anadi is not the main topic here. Main topic is Anadi Chaitanya and Anadi Ajnanam Sambandha is Anadi. Alright. Then Chaitanya Ajnanayoho Anadi Sambandhadhina Jiveshwara Bhavaha api Anadihi eva. So again now he says the Chaitanya and Ajnanayoho Anadi Sambandhadhina Jiveshwara Bhavaha api Anadi. Jiva Bhava and Ishwara Bhava, they are based on the Sambandha between Shuddha Chaitanyam and Ajnanam. Chaitanyam connected with the Vyashti Ajnanam is called Jivaha. Chaitanya connected with Samashti Ajnanam is called Ishvara. Therefore, Jiva Bhava and Ishvara Bhava are based on what? Sambandha between the Chaitanyam and Ajnanam. That is said here, Chaitanya Ajnanayoho Anadi Sambandha Dhina. Adhinam is dependent. Is what? Jiveshwara Bhava. Jiva status and Ishvara status is dependent on the Anadi Sambandha, beginningless connection between the Chaitanyam. Here Chaitanya refers to Shuddha Chaitanyam, Brahma and Ajnana. So Jiva status and Ishvara status is dependent upon the beginningless connection between the Shuddha Chaitanyam and Maya or Ajnana. And therefore what? That Jiveshwara Bhava also is Anadi only. Jiveshwara Bhava is beginningless. But it is dependent. Logically, it is dependent on the Sambandha between the Chaitanyam and Ajnanam. So Chaitanya Ajnana Sambandha, which is Anadi, is the basis for Jiveshwara Bhava. And the Sambandha is Anadi, therefore Sambandha based the Jiveshwara Bhava also is Anadi. So it means what? It is not that one fine morning this I started thinking I am Jiva. So Jiva the Brahman got deluded one day and started thinking I am Jiva. That is not the case. I have the delusion of being Jiva, it is Anadi. And Ishvara also is Anadi. Ishvara Bhava also is a Samashti Ajnana based Ishvara Bhava is also Anadi. So Jiva Ishvara Bhava Anadi only. Parantu, but Jiveshvara Bhavayoho Agdana Dhinatvat Jiveshvarayoho Agdana Karyatma Vyapadeshaha. So he said that earlier it was said that Jiva and Ishvara are the Karyam of Agdanam. How can you say Karyam when they are Anadi? Anaditvam and Karyatvam are opposite. Karyam is product. Product means that which is born. So product cannot be Anadi. So now you are telling Jiveshvara Bhava is Anadi. Earlier you said Karyam. So contradiction. If you remember what has been told, it will be contradiction. Therefore he says, he clarifies that. Parantu. So even though Jiveshvara Bhava is beginningless, but Jiveshvara Bhavayoho Agdana Dhinatvat. Since Jiva status and Ishvara status is based on Agdanam, based on the sambandha between the Agdanam and Chaitanyam, also can be said to be based on Agdanam. Jiveshvara Bhava is based on Agdanam. Therefore, Jiveshvarayoho Agdana Karyatva Vyapadeshaha. Vyapadeshaha means mention, presentation. Therefore, Jiva and Ishvara are presented as the product of Ajnanam. Ajnana Karyatva Vyapadeshaha. Since Jiva and Ishvara Bhava are dependent on Ajnanam, therefore they are said to be Ajnana Karyam. Jiva and Ishvara are said to be Ajnana Karyam. Like sometimes, very rarely, sometimes the Maya also is presented as good as the Karyam, as it were. Or Brahman is presented as a Karanam. In Kathopanishad Bhashyam, some indication is there. So there Tikakara explains that really Karya Karana Bhavas are not there, but since Adhinatvam is there, since Maya is dependent upon Brahman, and just as Karyam is dependent upon Karanam, therefore Lakshanaya. So based on the common feature, there is a Gauna Prayoga. So Mayayam Karyatva, Brahma Karyatva Prayoga, if at all it is there, generally it will not be there. If at all it is there, it is a Gauna Prayoga. Gauna Prayoga means the expression based on some common feature. So what is the common feature? That just as the product is dependent upon the cause, Maya is dependent upon Brahman. Therefore, based on the common feature of being dependent, Maya is sometimes, very rarely, is presented as though it is Karyam and Brahman is the Karanam. Alright, that is a part. But here we are focusing on Jiveshvara Bhava is Ajnana Dina, therefore Jiveshvara is called Ajnana Karyam. That is why in Vedanta, many a times we say something and afterwards we have to refine it. That is why some people they get confused and they said you keep on changing your stand. Abhi aisa bola. When it is not convenient, you change it. So we are communicating for a purpose. Our purpose is to make the person see that you are limitless reality. And for that, whatever way we have to say, we say. We refine. We don't contradict. There is a difference between refinement and contradiction. We are not contradicting. We are refining our understanding. Because at certain level, refined understanding was not necessary. Whatever superficial idea is given, that is good enough for that particular stage. Otherwise, person will not understand at all. Therefore, we give refinement as and when required. So that particular thing is not understood, and therefore some people get confused. And he said, you are confused and you are making us confused. So something like that. Okay. So that is how it is. Vedanta, what to do. But in this basic thing, we are not confused. What? I am limitless Brahman, never bound, I am ever free. Maya or Maya Karyam has not touched me. In that there is no confusion. If you say that Brahman has really become bound, we will not say yes on that. Brahman is bound, yes. We may say yes, sometimes we say no. Brahman is bound, yes. Because what else is there other than Brahman? Therefore, if at all something is bound, it is Brahman only. But how Brahman can be bound? Yes, Brahman is not really bound. If at all someone is bound, one who appears to be bound is Brahman alone. So when we say Brahman is bound, how we have to understand? Brahman alone appears to be bound. And Brahman is not bound means, in reality, Brahman is never bound. Both are okay. So that is why your assimilation of Vedanta can be tested by your ability to handle the paradoxes. When these paradoxes come, आपको थोड़ा hesitation comes or fear comes. How will I handle this? When this comes means you require more Shravanam, more Mananam. If you have really understood this vision of Vedanta, Manaha na khidyati. One commentator very nicely writes. He says, Vedantina Manaha na khidyati. Means Vedanti's mind will not be disturbed. Any question comes, he can handle. And for there are basic keys are there. Key principle that one certain description is based on Upadhi, certain description is based on Upadhi Sambandha Rahita, Upadhi Sambandha Abhava. So certain things are said based on Upadhi Sambandha, certain things are said based on this Upadhi Sambandha Abhava. So depending upon this expression, you explain. Brahman is the creator of this world or not? Yes and no, both. Some places, most places we say Brahman is Karanam. But some places where Anantaram, so we said Brahman is not without the Karanam. Nayam Kutashinna Babhuva Kashit. So there we say Brahman is not born of something and nothing is born of Brahman. Both we say. But initially we say one thing only. In Tattva Bodha we say what? Brahman is Karanam. Not so you highlight or you underline everything we say. And then slowly we say Karanam as though. So that is how this clarity of the vision of Vedanta is, that clarity is to be accomplished here. That's why you are able to handle this any contradiction, then any not really contradiction, paradoxes is a presentation paradox, because that is the how nature of Brahman is. Brahman is of absolute nature. It cannot be confined to any paradigm. And therefore, whatever is said in one paradigm will not be acceptable in other paradigm. And Brahman is free from all this. And that Brahman, fortunately, you are. Therefore, if you have understood yourself to be Brahman, there is no question of doubting that Brahman. You see, whatever is said about Brahman, you can appreciate that for yourself. All description of Brahman fits well in you when you see yourself to be consciousness. Whenever you have got doubt, you apply this. See, I, existence, consciousness appears to be the cause, but really not the cause. So that you can see. Alright, so this is how this Vedanta, this teaching is there, Vedanta vision is there. Alright. Now, Vachaspati Mishra had told that Ajnana Ashraya is Jivaha. What is the basis for that? It is experience. What is our experience? Aham Ajnaha. And Ajnaha word means what? Ajnanashrayaha Ajnaha. Like we say Buddhaha means what? Buddhyashrayaha Buddhaha. Similarly, Ajnanashrayaha Ajnaha. So see, similarly here, so experience is there, aham ajnaha, therefore I, jiva, aham shabda vachya jiva should be the ashraya of Ajnanam. And that particular this argument of Vachaspati Mishra to establish that the jiva is the ashraya of Ajnanam, that particular argument is discussed in the next shloka. Next paragraph. Aham ajnaha iti जीवाश्रितत्वेन यद्यपि अज्ञानम् आपाततः प्रतीयते तथापि शुद्ध ब्रह्माश्रिते अज्ञाने जीवस्य यः अभिमानः सः एव अर्थः अनेन वाक्येन अभिलप्यते इति परमार्थः. So we are not really dismissing, we are explaining that experience, that even though Ajnanam is Brahmashrita, still this experience that Aham Ajnaha is possible. That is what the teaching is. That even though I am Nitya Muktaha, that but how come I am experiencing bondage? We have explanation. We are not saying that you should not have experience of bondage. Vedanta is not the language. Vedanta doesn't talk in the language of should. Vedanta talks in the language of is and is not. And therefore, here also we are explaining Aham Ajnaha, I am ignorant, iti in this manner, Jivashritattvena, as dependent on Jiva, Yadyapi, even though Ajnanam, ignorance, Apatataha, superficially, Pratiyate, found. Even though Ajnanam is superficially found to be dependent on Jiva by the expression, by the experience, Aham Ajnaha. So, Aham Ajnaha, I am ignorant, seems to say that Ajnanam is located in Jiva. Because Aham Shabda Vachya is Jiva, Ajnaha means Ajnanashraya, therefore Aham Jivaha Ajnanashraya. That is the idea we get. So, apatataha, superficially you are right, that jiva seems to be the ashraya of ajnana. Tathapi. But then, shuddha, but then means what? But if we understand it deeply, if we analyze further, without getting caught with the superficial conclusion, without getting obsessed with the superficial conclusion, if we inquire deeply, then Shuddha Brahma Shrite Ajnane Jivasya Yaha Abhimanaha Saha Eva Arthaha Anena Vakyena Abhilapyate. So here the Granthakara is saying that Aham Ajnaha, this experience we are not denying. But that experience, what does it convey? That we have to understand properly. Without getting caught with the superficial conclusion, if we analyze further, what that experience indicates, he said, Shuddha Brahma Shrite Ajnane. In Ajnanam, which is really dependent upon pure Brahman, Jivasya Yaha Abhimanaha. The Abhimanaha means this, the identification, Mamakara Rupa Abhimana. Jivasya Yaha Abhimana. The identification which is there of Jiva, that Abhimana, Saha Eva Arthaha, that meaning alone means Abhimana Rupa Arthaha. So Aham Ajnaha is revealing that Jiva has got Abhimana, identification in Ajnanam. Saha Eva Arthaha, Anena Vakyena, by this sentence, Abhilapyate. Abhilapyate means revealed, denoted, mentioned. Iti paramarthaha. This is the right meaning. So otherwise, apatataha. Right meaning is, the final meaning is that when you say aham ajnaha, it indicates, it reveals only abhimana of jiva with ajnana. It doesn't reveal that the jiva is really the ashraya of ajnanam. It reveals the abhimana of jiva with ajnana. So here the Granthakara is making the division. Ashraya is of two types. One is called Adhishthana Rupa Ashraya and other is called Abhimana Rupa Ashraya or Abhimani Rupa Ashraya. So Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya is Brahman only. Shuddha Brahman alone is Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. What do we mean by Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya? Brahman alone lends existence to Ajnanam. To say Ajnanam is, this Ajnanam depends upon Brahman for existence. That fact we reveal by saying that Brahman is Ajnana Adhisthana. So Brahman is Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. Of what? Ajnanam. Now Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya means Brahman is lending existence to Ajnanam. So Shuddha Brahmashrita Ajnanam. Ajnanam is Shuddha Brahmashrita means Ajnanam is having Shuddha Brahman alone is Adhisthana. But with this Ajnanam, which really located in Brahman, with that Jiva is having identification. Jiva is having identification what? My Ajnanam. I have got Ajnanam. So Jiva is claiming the Ajnanam which is really located in Shuddha Brahma. Therefore he says, Jivasya yaha abhimana. That identification, mamakara abhimana, saha eva arthaha. That particular idea of abhimana is anena vakyena abhilapyate. So when Jiva says aham ajnaha, what does it mean? Jiva is the one who is identifying with ignorance. One Swamiji gave nice example, so I will give simplification. This real owner of this chair is this Ashravidya Gurukula. But person says what? My chair. My chair means what? He is telling, he is having abhimana. My desk. Why do you take my desk? Hey, आपका desk कब हो गया? Abhimana. So, real Ashraya is someone, but still you can have Abhimana. Similarly, here Ajnanam is located in Shuddha Brahman alone, but the Jiva is identifying with his Ajnanam, and that identification of Jiva with Ajnanam is presented, expressed by the experience or the sentence Aham Ajnaha. So Aham Ajnaha experience is not saying that Jiva is Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. Aham Ajnaha is saying that Jiva is Abhimani Rupa Ashraya. If at all Ashraya you want, it is Abhimani Rupa Ashraya, not Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. Alright, that is said here. Ajnan yaha abhimana sah evartha anena vakyena abhilapyate iti paramartha. Ajnana karyatvat jivasya na tasya ajnana adhishthanatva rupam ashrayatvam yujyate. Jiva is ajnana karyam. Just now we saw ajnana karyatva vyapadesha. Ajnana karyam is the sense of being dependent upon ajnanam. So Jiva being dependent upon ajnanam, therefore ajnana karyam. So Jiva being the one dependent upon ajnanam, therefore tasya ajnana adhishthanatva rupam ashrayatvam na yujyate. Therefore, being the support in the form of adhishthanam, the basis, that type of ashrayatvam for ajnanam is not possible for Jiva. Tasya means Jivasya. So for Jiva, Ajnana adhishthanatva rupam ashrayatvam na yujyate. Na should be connected to yujyate. Therefore, tasya, for that Jiva, the status of being the support in the form of adhishthanam of ajnanam is not tenable. Because adhishthanam is the one who lends existence. Jiva itself comes into the picture because of ajnanam. Therefore, Jiva cannot lend existence to ajnanam. And only Shuddha Brahman can lend existence to Ajnanam. Therefore, Shuddha Brahman alone can be Adhishthanam. Jiva being dependent upon Ajnanam for its existence cannot become Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. So, what is Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya? That which lends existence is Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. And that Adhisthana Rupa Ashrayatvam Jiva cannot have. Kintu Shuddha Brahma eva Ajnanasya Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. But pure Brahman alone is the support in the form of Adhishthanam for Ajnanam. Why? Because Shuddha Brahman alone lends existence to Maya, Ajnanam, to be referred to as existent. Ajnanam is, for that isness of Ajnanam, this Maya depends upon Brahman. Therefore, Brahman is called Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. So there is now refinement. See, now this is what you see. Earlier we purely dismissed that no, this Jiva cannot become the Ashraya. Then we said Jiva, if you want Jiva to be Ashraya, is a Abhimani Rupa Ashraya. The refinement. So we are not contradicting. We can see that. Earlier we said Jiva cannot be Ashraya. And now we are saying what? Jiva can be Ashraya, but Abhimani Rupa Ashraya. So when it was said Jiva cannot be Ashraya, what was kept in mind? Jiva cannot be Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya. There is no contradiction. It is not that we are going back. Which is Swamiji said, we in Vedanta, we don't go back. We always move further in our clarity and refinement. So that is there. So, Kintu, if this is not understood properly, you always think that Swamiji, you are, back and forth movement is there. So here it is not that we are just refining. Okay. Aham agnaha iti tu pratitihi jivasya ajnanabhimanitva rupam ashrayatvam vishayi karoti. Aham iti tu pratitihi. Pratiti means experience. Tu means, however, the experience that I am ignorance. Iti pratiti, in this experience in this manner that I am agnaha is vishayi karoti, is reveals. What? Jivasya Ajnanabhimanitva Rupam Ashrayatvam. Jiva being the Ashraya locus in the form of being Abhimani, being identified with Ajnanam. So Jiva is identified with Ajnanam. That is referred to by the word Aham Ajnaha. It does not refer that Jiva is the Ashraya, the Adhisthana Rupa Ashraya of Ajnanam. Alright. So Aham Agnaha iti tu pratitihi jivasya Ajnanabhimanitva Rupam Ashrayatvam Vishayi Karoti. That experience reveals only the status of being the locus in the form of being the one identified with Ajnanam. The Jiva being identified with Ajnanam. Alright. Now, Shuddha Brahma Rupa Adhisthana Shritam Ajnanam Swashrayam Brahmaeva Avrunoti. Now he clarifies that with regard to Vishayatvam, there is no any conflict with the Vachaspati Mata. So Vachaspati also says that Shuddha Brahman is covered, and we also says that Shuddha Brahman is covered by Ajnanam. So Shuddha Brahma Rupa Adhisthana Shritam Ajnanam. Ignorance which is dependent upon the Adhishthanam. In fact, there is no exact word in English. They give the word substratum, but we are prohibited. So we don't use Adhisthana Ashritam Ajnana. Ignorance which is dependent upon the Adhisthana in the form of pure Brahman. That Ajnanam. Ajnanam is a Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam. Ajnanam Swashrayam Brahma eva avrunoti. It veils, avrunoti, covers, veils Brahman alone, which is Swashrayam, which is its support. So Maya covers his own support, which is Brahman. So Yad Ashrayam Ajnanasya Saha eva Vishaya Ajnanasya. So whatever is the Ashrayam of Ajnanam, what is that? Brahman. That Shuddha Brahman alone is the Vishaya of Ajnana. Alright. So Ajnana covers, veils the Brahman alone. Tadanantaram, thereafter. Thereafter here it is a Aupacharika Prayoga. Thereafter means It is not that once upon a time this happened and afterward this happened. It is called, technically it is called, it is that utpatti kramaha kintu napto kramaha. Means what? This is the order in understanding. There is no order in occurrence. It is not once upon a time Ajnanam veiled Brahman and afterwards, okay, now whom to I have to cover? Okay, now Jiva I have to cover. Or Jiva I have to, Jiva Bhava has to be created. There is no such thing. So it is only Aupacharika. Tadantaram means thereafter. It is for our understanding that something is dependent upon something else. That particular fact is revealed by the order. We say this happens and that happens. So it is not that it happened on one particular day, but one happening is dependent upon other happening. That dependence is figuratively presented by the word tadantaram. Otherwise, tadantaram also can create problem. So those who want to create problem, I also have created problems. I know where all problem can be created. So हमको मालूम है ये सब हमने किया है. So इसलिए आप, therefore in the beginning itself I am telling tadantaram. So don't ask question on that. Tadantaram is a utpatto kramaha nasti, napto kramaha asti. Tadantaram jivaha aham agnaha asmi iti evam agnanasya abhimani rupa ashrayo bhavati. Thereafter jiva becomes the ashraya. Ashraya means the locus. As what? Abhimani. As the one who is identified. And ashraya of what? Ajnanam. So aham jivaha becomes the ashraya as the one who has identified. Ashraya of Ajnanam. So jiva becomes the support of Ajnanam as the one who has identified with Ajnanam. So Ajnanasya has got connection with Abhimani and Ajnanasya has got the connection with Ashraya. So Ajnanasya Ashrayo Bhavati, and how it is Ashraya? By being identified with Ajnana. The main connection is Ajnanasya Ashraya Bhavati. Kaha Ashraya Bhavati? Jiva. Jiva becomes the locus of Ajnanam in the form of, what type of Ashraya becomes? In the form of Abhimani, the one who has identified with Ajnana. So identifying with ignorance is revealed, is expressed as being the Ashraya of Ajnana. So being identified with Ajnanam is presented as being Ashraya of Ajnanam. So Ashraya of Ajnanam, Jiva being Ashraya of Ajnanam means Jiva being identified with Ajnanam. Anena prakarena Ajnanam swashraya vishayakam iti siddham. In this manner, Ajnanam, ignorance, is established as what? Swashraya vishayakam, as the one which has got Brahman as the Ashraya, the locus, and Brahman as the object of ignorance. He is locus of ignorance and object of ignorance is Brahman alone, it is Siddham. Now, the Tippanikara is reconciling that based on Aham Ajnaha, Vachaspati Mishra is saying that the Jiva is Ashraya. What is his view really? So he doesn't want to put Vachaspati Mishra down. So when he is saying that Jiva is the Ashraya, it can be understood in a particular manner. That is given in the footnote, which we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada